faster, Nida.
I happened to see a speech on YouTube that states, hate has 4 letters and so does love. Life has 5 letters and so does truth. Success has 7 letters. Failure has 7 letters and so does success. Cry has 3 letters and so does joy. Negativity has 10 letters and so does positivity. You always have a choice to choose the better side of it. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I am here to talk about my journey. I was born and brought up in Indore, one of the cleanest cities of India, a place which is famous for its street delicacies. And I can easily vouch that poha jalebi grows in my veins. One incident that I profoundly remember from my childhood when my stage fear started. I was in class 6 or 7. I had to deliver a speech on the topic festivals of India, and I tell you, the moment I went on the stage, my mind froze. I couldn't utter a single word. Even though I had been remembering my speech for a long time, but then seeing thousands of students in front of my eyes, I forgot my topic. But this made a long-lasting impression on my mind. I became averse to the topic of public speaking. Because seeing thousands of students laughing, I just had to wrap my speech by saying a simple thank you. I thought in my mind that it's impossible and it's very hard for me to achieve this. But having said that, instead of hue and cry, I focused on things that made me happy. I started writing, I started taking part in various drawing and painting competitions, and even winning a few of them. And I started playing table tennis and winning some of the tennis tournaments. Now, being a meticulous person in my schooling and college life, I still did not wake up to my final year placement. Disappointing, right? I felt like a failure, my life was insipid. But then somehow my father helped me to get a job in my own city. I was not satisfied because I wanted something of my own efforts. I told him I want to move to Pune and get a job on my own. My father was convinced, my mother was not convinced. She just wanted to move to stay in the same city. But somehow we convinced, and I was the first girl in my maternal and paternal side to have moved out of Indore and that too for a job. And one of my friends, she happened to move to Pune for the same purpose, and I tagged along with her. Now, excited and nervous, I started for relevant job opportunities. I went to colleges where placement drives were conducted, to multiple companies, walk-ins, and so on. But then, my initial thrill, it turned to a complete disappointment, seeing tens and thousands of students in line just for a single return test. And that too, they came not only from Pune, but from different parts of India. If that time I would have thought I'm not able to make it, I would have definitely returned back to my hometown. But leaving no stone unturned, I still somehow cracked one company's return test followed by the interview, and thereby moving to Mumbai, where I had the most amazing time of my life with 5 of the girls who happened to stay in the same accommodation. And that time was really amazing, traveling in metros and locals without a ticket and staying on Marine Drive late night just chatting about our lives. And during that time, my parents were looking for a suitable match for me. I know it was very early for me just to graduate and get married, and this was one of the reasons I moved to Pune. But then, they would call me to Pune from Mumbai just to meet some of the distant relatives, and in a very well-planned traditional setup, like as you've seen in the movies. And they would introduce me to a potential match. And in those tips and bits of meetups, I met my future husband, and it has been amazing 7+ years with a very mysterious daughter. Now, life has been a roller coaster for over the years. COVID as one of the worst ways, and yes, it did change the perspective of my life. From a risk-averse person, I became a risk taker. From a stress taker, I became a stress giver. From being a non-sports person, I became a sports person. I started cycling and watching Formula 1 with the men of my house, including Hamilton being one of the favorite players. I enjoy going to places, not just to visit the places, but to explore the culture and the cuisines of those places. Lastly, like last year, I made major changes to my life because of, yes, Toastmaster you can hang on. I quit my job where I was not growing to my full potential, focus on my mental and physical health. I attended my first Toastmasters meeting, the 400 meeting, although I had been signing up since 2021. But then I did not turn up in person just because of the fear and the judgment of others. And yes, last but not the least, I would wrap my speech by what keep your face towards the sunshine. Keep your face towards the sunshine and shadows will fall behind. Thank you, Toastmasters.